Namaste and Satnam yogis. I'm Tracy and this is Yoga Union, where people unite in a quest for wellness of body, mind, and spirit. Whether you're a yoga virgin or a seasoned practitioner, Tracy's Yoga Union has a place for your mat. So let's roll those mats out and get started. We'll set our intentions on reawakening. Reawakening the body through movement. Reawakening and reconnecting body, mind, and spirit through that movement. Keeping in mind the mantra, tough times never last. Tough people do. Beginning to quiet that mind by quieting the body. Few breaths here in our mountain pose. Again, setting that intention on reawakening that body through movement, and through that movement reconnecting with that body, mind, and spirit. Dedicating today's practice to my forever yoga buddy, Tootsie Roll. And as we move on to tabletop on all fours, keeping that mantra in our minds of tough times never last, tough people do. Establishing a nice firm foundation in our tabletop. Let's inhale and stretch out through right leg and left arm. Inhale, round, bringing elbow and knee together. Exhale, extend. Round. Inhale's our extension. Exhale, we round. to face the long edge of the mat. That right knee still bent. We'll bring the left leg parallel with the short edge. Make a nice mudra here, bringing thumb and pointer finger together, extending that arm, and then a nice bend into that right knee. Getting a nice inner thigh stretch here. Straighten out that leg. Bring the inner edge of the foot to the mat. Arc over that left arm for gate pose. Now we'll start to open up that gate. Bring the left arm onto the mat. Right arm up. Right leg up. Let's exhale, tap the toes. Inhale, lift. Exhale, tap. Lift. Tap. Lift. As we release down, bring it back around to the front of that mat, short edge. Flex those toes up of the right foot. Just start to hinge and fold forward over that right leg. Walk it up, stepping on back to a downward dog. Pedaling out those feet, any movement here in the dog. Before we come down to all fours again. Do that flow on the opposite side. So we'll inhale and stretch out through left leg and right arm. Exhale, curve and bring elbow and knee together. Inhale, extend. Exhale, curve. Inhale, extend. Exhale, curve. We'll step that left foot forward, bring it around the front, stretch out that left arm, bringing thumb and index or pointer finger together, and then coming into the bend of that left knee, getting a nice inner thigh stretch here. Straightening out through that knee, bringing the inner edge of the foot to the mat, and then arcing that right arm over for a little gate pose here. Then we open that gate, plant that arm, lift your top arm, lift that left leg, and then some toe taps. Exhaling on the tap, inhaling to lift. Nice movements here as we release and come back. Coming back to face the short edge, flexing those toes, and then hinging and folding over that left leg. Walking it through to find our dog. A little more movement here in the dog, warming up our body. And let's inhale the right leg, bend that knee. Bring that knee on through to find our pigeon. I'm going to use a few blocks here to help increase the reach of my hands, starting out my pigeon first with a nice arc in that low back. And then folding forward any amount that's comfortable for you in your pigeon. Using the blocks if needed to create some extra extension for arms, forearms. Inhaling that pigeon and releasing back to our dog. Three-legged dog, lifting that left leg, bend that left knee. And then release it on through to find our pigeon on this side. Again, incorporating those blocks as or if needed for some nice extension and the reach of the arms. And after using the pigeon here for a little back bend, you can fold forward and enjoy that relaxed pigeon for a few breaths. Use your inhale to come back up from that pigeon and push into our downward dog again. Before coming down to all fours, tabletop, and then finding nice child's pose for a few breaths here before we really get into our flow to reawaken. Reawaken the body through that movement. Reawaken that connection of body, mind, and spirit. Remembering that tough times never last. Tough people do. Lift up into your tabletop and then push into that dog. Walk hands and feet together here. Just start that nice, slow release. Coming to standing, finding our mountain pose. Inhaling, arms up overhead. Grab onto that right wrist, cross your right leg behind, and resting on the outer edge of that right foot as you crescent over, getting a nice stretch in the right side body. Inhale to center, reverse all of that. So cross that left leg behind, grab onto that left wrist, crescent over for a nice stretch, awakening the left side body. As we inhale to center, go ahead and cactus those arms, really opening up the heart center. As we exhale, round at that mid-back, bring the forearms together. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. Inhale, open that heart. Exhale, round, bringing forearms together. One more inhale to open. So you drop those arms behind and clasp fingertips. Get a nice bend in those knees. And then start to arc those arms up and over as we fold forward here. Gently release those hands down to frame your feet. Stepping back into our downward dog again. We'll inhale the right leg without bending that knee. Open up the right body to the long edge of that mat. And then we're going to do what is called the grateful or kneeling dog. So on an exhale, start to bend that left knee and right knee. Set that right foot on the back of that left leg. Then inhale, straighten and lift. Exhale into that kneeling or grateful dog. Inhale, lift and straighten. Exhale, kneeling dog. Inhale, straighten and lift. Exhale, bring that right leg through. Setting up our high lunge here. So lifting up through arrow straight arms. Nice bend in that right knee. Maybe a little tuck of the hips here. Straightening out through the spine. Bringing palms to heart center. We'll start to walk in that back foot to find tree pose balance on our right leg. And once you have that balance, maybe grow that tree. And if you're up for a little extra challenge, try a tricky tree. So bring your left hand down to your hip. And then crescent over to that left side. So a little side stretch in our tree pose. Inhaling back to center. We'll step back into our warrior two. So bend in that right knee still. Arms extended in a T. Gazing out over those right fingertips. Strong warrior two. Inhale that bent knee. Maybe step that back foot in a bit. Exhale, stretch out. Release that right hand down to find triangle pose. Looking up at those extended fingertips if comfortable for the neck. As we exhale, look down, cartwheel those hands down. Step that right foot back and find our dog. And we'll get ready for that flow on the left side. Again, reawakening the body through movement. Reawakening that connection of body, mind, and spirit. Keeping that mantra in mind as well. Tough times don't last. Tough people do. Inhale that left leg. Keep it straight, but open up to the long edge of the mat. And we'll do that grateful or kneeling dog here. So as you exhale, bend right and left knee. Placing that left foot behind that right leg. Inhale, lift and straighten. Exhale, kneeling, grateful dog. Inhale, lift and straighten. Exhale, kneeling, grateful dog. Inhale, lift and straighten. Bringing left foot through. Lifting on up to find our high lunge. challenge on this side. Again, arrow straight arms. Nice bend in that left knee. Maybe a little tilt forward of the hips. And then bring those palms to heart center as we start to walk in that right leg to find our balance in tree on the left leg. And once you're balanced, grow that tree. And if you're up for a little extra balance challenge, try that tricky tree. Right hand to your hip. And then arc over to that right side. Stretching out left side body here. Inhale back to center as we step back and find our warrior two on this side. Strong warrior, turning your head and eyes to gaze out over the left fingertips. We inhale, straighten that knee. Maybe walk that back foot in a bit. Exhale, reach it out. Left hand finds the shin. Right fingertips to the sky for triangle pose. Looking down, we exhale and cartwheel those arms down. Stepping back into our dog. From dog, coming down to all fours. From here, we'll do a thread the needle, and I'll give you some variations on that thread the needle. And you can try those or just keep with the foundational thread the needle pose. So we'll thread that right arm through, rest that right ear on the mat, and then instead of keeping the hips centered, we want to keep the hips lifted, but let's just shift them over to the right a bit, and maybe you stay right here in our thread the needle. If you want a little challenge, stretch out through that left arm, placing the palm on the mat overhead. You can then stretch out through that left leg, or even give a little lift to that left leg here in our thread the needle. Exhale, release. Bring it back around to tabletop. And let's try any variation of that thread the needle on the next side. Bringing that left arm through first. Left ear onto the mat. Keeping those hips high. But instead of centered, just move them a bit to the left. And stretch out that right arm. And the right leg. And see how lifting that right leg. A little wobbly for me on this side, but that's okay. Slow exhale and release. to our center here. From our tabletop, let's come up to stand on our knees. We'll just do a little variation of Camel Pose here. Kind of flowing from lifting one arm in that camel and then the other. And in our camel, we definitely want a nice arch in that back, but we also want to be pushing out through those hips, leaving that chin neutral as we arc back, or letting that chin follow the arc, whatever's comfortable for your neck. So we'll flow through and inhale and exhale about 3 times on each side. Starting with an inhale of that right arm, moving back into our camel. Exhaling back to center. Alternate with that left arm, inhaling into that camel. Exhaling back to neutral. Right arm inhales as we move into the camel on this side. Exhale, bringing it back to neutral. Inhale, left arm into our camel. Exhale, coming back up to neutral. One more on the right side. Out with that left. Exhaling to lift. Finding that tabletop again. We're going to step the right leg to the outer edge of our right hand. I'm going to grab my blocks again to create that extension of my arms. And we can stay here for lizard pose. If you want to increase that stretch a bit, you can start to open up the knee, coming onto the outer edge of that right foot. So some good opening, some good movement here in either lizard or winged dragon pose. We'll start to inhale, come back to our tabletop. Maybe circle those hips around. Taking time to move in both directions before we find our lizard or winged dragon on the other side. So step that left foot to the outer edge of the left hand. Really come into a nice lunge there. And if you want to increase that a bit, then roll on to the outer edge of the left foot for winged dragon. Tough times, they never last. Tough people certainly do. Inhale to release. First coming back to that tabletop, moving those blocks out of the way if you've been using them. And we'll push back into our dog from here. inhale, we'll lift our right leg. Let's bend that knee this time like we did in our warm-up. Then bring it on through to find that nice high lunge again. First, stretching out through those arrow straight arms. And we'll just sweep those arms back. Really open up that heart center. Get a nice bend in the low back. Setting up for warrior 3. So we'll start to step in that back leg. Keeping that arch first in the back. As we balance in warrior 3 on the right leg, you could stay here. Or lose some of the arch in the back, bringing palms to heart center. Warrior 3. As we release, gonna bring that left knee, hugging it in, holding on with our right arm. Can stay standing here in our balance, or reach out with that left arm behind you for a little one-legged standing twist. Exhale. Release down. Find that mountain for a breath or two. And then we'll inhale, arms up, overhead. Exhale, bringing them through to heart center. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Stepping back into dog. From dog, you could go down into a tabletop and hang out there for a few breaths, or flow through your vinyasa. So coming to plank and lowering down for cobra, or coming through chaturanga to up dog. And wherever you are, we'll meet back in downward dog. Inhaling that left leg and bending that left knee before bringing it and stepping it forward. Finding that high lunge here. First, reaching up through arrow straight arms. And then sweeping those arms back. Really opening up through the chest. Bending in that low back, preparing for warrior 3 here. Stepping that back leg in, keeping that bend in the back as we find that initial warrior 3, and then maybe straightening that out, bringing palms to heart center. Before releasing, bringing that right knee, grabbing on with the left, and a little twist by stretching back through that right arm. Slow release. Enjoying that strong, steady mountain. Reawakening the body through movement. Reawakening the connection of body, mind, and spirit with that movement. Inhale those arms up. Exhale, bring those palms through to heart center. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Step it back for dog, and you can then find your way to tabletop, or if you want to flow through your vinyasa, plank, cobra, or chaturanga for up dog and down dog. And we'll all meet in tabletop and then on our backs. We'll stretch out through the left leg. Hug that right knee into your chest. Bring that right knee across the body for a little twist here. Inhale that back to center. Keep the right knee bent. We'll stack that left heel or ankle on top of that knee. And then somewhere below the knee, just give a nice bit of pressure, opening up that hip. Let's cross that left knee over. Hug both knees into our chest. Grab onto our feet for a little shoelace pose here. As we release down, we'll hug the left knee into our chest, straighten out through that right leg. Bring that left leg across the body. Little twist. Inhale that back to center. And we'll stack that left ankle on the bent right knee. Nope, we're on the wrong leg there, I think, aren't we? Yeah, keep that left leg bent. We're going to bring the right knee there. Press in, press out. Maybe pressing into the right ankle into the knee and then pressing out. Somewhere below the knee on that right leg. And then cross that right leg over. Hug those knees in, grab onto the feet for our shoelace pose on this side. And as we release down, let's do one bridge pose. Typically in the bridge, maybe we see ourselves more as a U shape. So let's keep our bridge pretty low this time and make it look more like just a slant coming down from the knees. So as we inhale, start to lift that low back, mid back. But imagine now the body is more like a slide. We're just slanting up from the knees and down, instead of creating more bend in that low back. Just a nice slant here. Next exhale, one vertebra at a time, lower down that little bridge. Maybe last hug of those knees into our chest. Any circles or rocking from side to side. Before stretching out and taking up as much space as you would like for our final relaxation. Shavasana. Quiet body, quiet mind, knowing that ending our practice here is how we allow the body, mind, and spirit to process all that great yoga, that great movement that we just completed. Continue to reawaken that body with some little wiggles of fingers and toe tips. Maybe stretching out from fingers and toe tips. Knowing that through this movement, we reawaken and reconnect body, mind, and spirit. And if you're rubbing those palms and soles together, you can always place those warm hands over your eyes before rolling to one side or rocking and rolling to come up to seated. Inhaling, arms up overhead. Exhaling as we bring those palms to heart center. Namaste. And yogis, remember that tough times never last. Tough people do.